And they agreed and reached out to us and told us they wanted to work with us.
Yeah. Shout out to Prevo Rogers and Tom Taylor. They run the company and listen to our stuff. Samantha had contacted, talked to Prevo, and she's off to the side. But she had talked to him, and he really enjoyed our stuff and wanted to work with us. So we signed a contract, and here we are.
Hey, good. So what that conversation you met, you just happened to meet him, which is I think that's awesome, by the way. Just kind of the coincidence kind of aspect of it. But when it comes to kind of finding that voice they were looking for, and we're talking to Samantha off air, that's something, your voice and your talent, something they really don't have, which is really cool. So tell me a little bit about that. How does that work?
So I think we can. You know, we've always been told when we've played out and stuff, we have a sound we've got the brother harmony. That's first going for us. But the other thing is we have a unique sound. You know, there's so much country music being pushed now that's just this bro country, and you know,
same old.
It's cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's got some cool elements, but then it kind of gets repetitive and old at the same time. And so we always wanted to just do something different. And we both have such different, uniquely different writing styles. And I'll typically like write the lyrics, and then sometimes I'll put chords to it. Otherwise I'll ship it to Aubrey and I'll be like, hey, what do you think about the song? You know, put some lead stuff to it. And then he is more of the melodic, like coming up with the part first and then putting words to it. And so they kind of weave themselves together. And so our sound, I think because of that, it's kind of all over the place, but in a way it's kind of a good thing because you've got this kind of chaotic thing coming at you, but it melts together. So it works.
Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you sit down and write, we're going to get in here in just a second, get you guys to perform for us if you don't mind. But when you sit down, starting to write some lyrics, and what I do love about you guys, you do a lot of your own work, your own originals. And we love to kind of have that part, not only the Artist Spotlight, but our Stuck in Rotation program that we have the last Thursday of the month. You write your own stuff. So when you sit down, both of you guys, when you sit down, starting to write something, how does that all kind of come about? Is it motivation? Is it inspiration? What does it come from?
You want to say first?
Well, for me, like Lana just mentioned, how typically I write the music first and then I put lyrics to it. It's something I've been trying to actually change. In that a lot of times it's lately taken me a long time because I'll put something together on guitar and think that I'll just kind of get a given. That's how it kind of used to work, is that I'd get a melody that come with it, and it would come to me after just coming up with some music. But a lot of times lately, I've been kind of putting it off. Like anything I'd come up with lyrically, I would just hate and just like put it down, and it would take me forever. So I'm trying to actually figure out how to do it his way and just come up with the melody first. But as far as inspiration, yeah, it's hard to really say other than just there's random things. Sometimes it depends on the day. You know, kind of what I'm feeling, what's happening, if I got like a long drive or if I'm doing something new, or just things will come up and I'll get little ideas, or also just listening to our favorite artists, things that they're talking about. I'll kind of focus in and listen to specific lines that they have and think that's a really, you know, cool way to put that. And so maybe try to like take a song of theirs and take one or two lines from it and make another song kind of based on that little thing.
Fantastic.
So that's me.
Yeah. Mine's pretty simple. Aubrey's always complained when we were growing up, I'd be singing anything. I mean, I'd sing about the chair is on fire. Yeah. And I would just sing something randomly, and he would be so irritated because I'd be in his face just singing constantly about random stuff. And so nowadays it's nothing. I mean, you can ask my fiance. I'll sit there and be singing about whatever, and I'll get in the shower and I'll have this melody pops in my head, and it may be, you know, something just weird, but then I write it down and I change the lyrics to what I was singing to that melody, and the rest is history. Yeah,
well, look, enough of me talking. What are you guys going to think about playing first this morning?
Let's do Carolina Crazy.
All right.
So this is a song that we actually sent over to Prevo, the guy with the label, Prevo Rogers, and we've sent him some songs, and he thinks this may be our next single that we'll release under the record, under the label. So it's called Carolina Crazy.
There you go. Again, you're tuned into the Artist Spotlight here on Next Door Radio, to die for.
Let's go. Well, I've counted stars from here to there, following the breeze, the deepest south to furthest north. I've had many dreams, and out of all the wonders that I've seen, I often think of her. Whispers in those famous pines, belonging on my heart. Yeah, I must be Carolina crazy. Man, you should see her now. She's a perfect kind of lady. Yeah, she can draw a crowd. When she swings and sways, baby, come with me. Like a free bird among the clouds, I'm out here picking daisies, going Carolina crazy. Woo! I've seen her beauty marks, colored scars, painted over time. From her anchored soul to country roads, she's as rich as fine wine. And out of all the loved ones that I've lost, I often think of her. Memories left inside my mind, puts longing on my heart. Yeah, I must be Carolina crazy. Man, you should see her now. She's a perfect kind of lady. Yeah, she can draw a crowd. When she swings and sways, baby, come with me. Like a free bird among the clouds, I'm out here picking daisies. The way the starlight falls upon her face, it can be spilled with a painter's grace. And I can't help but to fall into her warm embrace. As of late, I must be Carolina crazy. Man, you should see her now. She's my kind of lady. Yeah, she can draw a crowd. When she looks my way, my words drift away like a free bird among the clouds. I'm out here picking daisies. Oh, I'm out here picking daisies, going Carolina crazy. Carolina crazy, oh no. Sorry.
Carolina Crazy here on the Artist Spotlight and To Die For here live at Angel Wings Bookstore and Bistro in downtown beautiful Oxford. My name is Trace Knight. We have To Die For live on stage this morning. Guys, you talked a little bit about it before this song, but when you sit down, you started writing this song, where did that come from?
Just kind of thinking about, what's something that, one of the things that a lot of songwriters do is, for me at least, it's the title. Like, I'll come up with a title and be like, that's a really cool name for a song. How can I form that into a verse, chorus, a bridge, all that good stuff? And so then I'll sit down and just, if the melody's already come to me, it's easy enough. Otherwise, I've got a little list on my phone and I've just got like a slew of titles that I've come up with. Okay. And I thought, hey, this is really cool. And then it's weird because then the idea comes to me. So I'm like, I've got this one title that's called like, I Bet You Look Beautiful in White. Okay. So then I'm like, okay, that's going to be a ballad. Yeah. That's going to be a really cool thing. Probably about, I just recently got engaged. And so that may be a song I write for my fiance. And I'll start writing about that and the melody will just come and the words will just come and I got a song.
There you go. And the same thing for you. Or what do you think about that?
For the most part, yeah. Things just, I'll kind of how I'm feeling. If I had an experience or if I talked to someone recently who had an experience, a lot of times I write more emotional stuff. Something else. He's pretty good at an upbeat, kind of like the pep up, like happy stuff, like positive stuff. But a lot of times I tend to write a lot more about different experiences, stuff that wasn't great, and how like all the different range of emotions you get from things. And so I tend to focus on that a little bit.
And of course, as an up and coming artist, we've known each other. We talked a little bit about it at the beginning. Last 5 years or so, as an up and coming, you just signed your brand new record deal with Highway One. When it comes to that, is there anything new in the horizon for, of course, with To Die For? Any new shows coming up? Anything you guys want to promote?
Yeah, so we actually have a show coming up this Friday in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And it's called the Rustic Barn at Old Moon, Half Moon, Rustic Barn at Half Moon. So we'll give them a shout out, and we're looking forward to that. It's going to be like I think they're like a wedding venue type of thing, and a big old barn and stuff. And they're going to have like vendors out there, or maybe not vendors, but food trucks and some games and stuff for the kids.
I think it's like a summer kickoff series.
Yeah, the summer kickoff series.
The whole band's going to be there?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. And To Die For live on stage here at the Angel Wings Bookstore and Bistro in downtown beautiful Oxford. My name is Trace Nod. You are tuned in to the Artist Spotlight. If you missed any part of this program, you can head back to our website at nextdoorradio.com. It'll be under the local talk videos sitting right there for you. The Adam, our good friend here, at Angel Wings Bookstore, he mentioned and asked you this before, your inspiration for a few artists. And so I'm stealing this question from him because I appreciate that. Talk a little bit about your inspiration, the artists. And you mentioned, of course, Keith Urban is one of your favorites. Get a little bit more in depth of that if you
can. I think, like Aubrey was talking about, my uplifting kind of songwriting style comes from a lot of Keith Urban. We put a song out at the end of last year. It's our latest single, called What a Good Life. And that song is, you can hear there's so many elements of Keith Urban style in that.
Okay.
To the point I actually pitched him the song at the Grand Ole Opry. I sent it to him. Nothing really came of it, but I thought, I'll try it.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. So I sent a little USB-C drive of it. And I love his stuff because it's the kind of cruising music. You can just listen and be driving down the road and you hear it and feel good about yourself. So
yeah.
One of them is Keith Urban, especially for guitar, and John Mayer is where I got most of my inspiration when I was in high school of trying to. Well, I love his style of like playing melodies along with rhythm. Like he always has these like acoustic shows and then like a trio and then a full band kind of thing. It's awesome because he can like fill out underneath, instead of just strumming along. He puts in little licks while he's singing. And so I always thought that was awesome. And I tried to do that. And then Keith Urban kind of does the same thing. I've always thought it was cool how he can play solos. He plays lead guitar and sings, and he can sing over it. And that's still something that I'm aspiring to do. I can do it here and there, but it's still sometimes tough. But I definitely love the style of how Keith Urban puts in little licks, and different melodies just in between verses, even if it's not like a full solo or just like underneath certain lines to accent what's being talked about in the song.
Fancy.
So those are definitely two big inspirations. Yeah.
There you go. And so talk a little bit about it. You sit down, you write a lot of your originals. Of course, you do a couple of different covers. Not too many though. Is that correct?
It depends on the venue, really.
Okay.
We've got a lot of covers lined up. Yeah.
Is that hard to kind of go back and forth between that? Something that of course, you put a lot of effort into writing your own music and the originals, but then it's all right, now we got to play this. How does that kind of dynamic work for you guys?
I wouldn't say it's pretty natural for us.
Okay.
I try to do like, I'll kind of lead what we're going to play next. And so sometimes I'll be on stage, and a lot of people have like, it depends on the show. Like if you have an hour, it's easy to come up with a set list because you're going to have like maybe 8 or 9 songs depending on how long each song is.
Okay.
And you can get that within an hour. So, like festivals, like I was saying earlier, we try to play all originals if we can at a festival or like a fair. But like breweries and stuff, 3-hour long shows, we like to incorporate the cover songs into it. And so what I'll do is we'll play like 2 covers and then we'll play an original, 2 more covers, original. And so we throw it in there, and we've never gotten anybody to be like, "Hey, man, you got to just play covers here. Like you can't play originals. That stuff's not, it's not going to fly." Everybody seemed to really like our originals, and so we've kept at it, and that's where we are. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we, not like it's some kind of secret, but I think like we kind of found a good formula that works. Of like he was saying, doing 2 and then 1 or something like that. And just kind of, and it's always every show is different. You just kind of read the crowd and see what's going on. But I think, like he was saying, for the most part, we typically see where, because the originals are surrounded by the type of covers that we choose to play, and what the mood of the cover surrounding are, and then picking the specific original one that kind of fits in or kind of isn't too harsh of a change up from that one. People are still all about it, and they're in it, and so they can see and hear that. I think if a band kind of puts in an original after they did a cover that that is, like I was saying, like a big difference. It's kind of like a
can
harsh,
tell.
just like slap in the face, and you can kind of like be taken out of it, and your emotions be taken a different direction. So we try to be careful with kind of keeping the flow going. And for the most part, yeah, like you said, it's after all these years, I think we've kind of figured out a good formula.
And it's funny because sometimes we'll talk a little bit about the song before we play it, depending on where we're at. Like the Bluebird Cafe in Tennessee, that kind of setting is where it's intimate. So you storytelling, and some other places are like that. So we can tell a story. But otherwise, sometimes we'll just slip an original in and play it right after the cover we just did, and people won't even know the difference, and they'll go nuts. And so it makes you feel good as the artist, because it's like, hey, that's pretty cool. And then we'll tell the story, and they're like, that was an original, holy crap. And you get more people to buy the song, hopefully, or download.
I love that. And so and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it kind of leads into the next point. When it comes to creating those sets, and when you're really just an original set, okay, and these new artists out here doing their first thing, their first set or first gig, kind of talk a little inspiration when it comes to that. How do you do that when it comes to just nothing cover, just originals? How does that kind of come about?
You definitely don't want to bore your audience right off the bat. You want to have it, at least for me and what we've talked about, you want to have it upbeat and get them hooked, and then hit them with a ballad or like a slower song to get that emotion going. And then right after that, you got to throw in a good punchline or a good joke. Like, well, now that we've got you all sad, now that we've got you crying, here's our next, upbeat song. And this one's for that. And just working the crowd is a big part of that. Just allowing it to say, because people want to, when people are out drinking at breweries and shows like that, they want to come there for the drinking and the fun, the Friday night, Saturday night kind of thing. We don't want to get too involved. But the other places where you can really just play all original, like you were mentioning, they're there because they want to hear the stories of what you've written, how you came apart with this song. So
I love that. Yeah. And so, all right, let's get what's the next song you guys are you want to play this one?
Do you Get It Back or What a Good Life?
Let's do Get It Back.
All right. This is the Artist Spotlight. Here's To Die For.
Let's do 5. Okay. How did you stare right into my eyes, telling me day after day you were happy with me, but you could not love me more? How did you wear such a great disguise, having no shame or regret that was quite strong enough to wear you down? You said it was just once, and it won't happen again, no, 'cause you love me, only me. So where do we go from here? 'Cause I don't want to run away from what we built. I want to be here to stay for the love that used to be real. We've come too far to say it's over now. I can't last much longer. I loved all that we used to have, but I don't know if we can get it back. Can we get it back? Can we get it back? Hey. Why did you make promises you could not keep? Letting our hopes and dreams run wild and free just to close an open door. Why'd you make me love so deep? Yeah. When there's nothing left to say, I would fight anyway just to keep you around. You said it was just once, and it won't happen again, no, 'cause you love me, only me. So where do we go from here? 'Cause I don't want to run away from what we built. I want to be here to stay for the love that used to be real. We've come too far to say it's over now, but I can't last much longer. I loved all that we used to have, but I don't know
if we can get it back. You said it was just once, it won't happen again, 'cause you love me. Oh, you said 'cause I don't just run away from what we built. I wanna be here to stay for the love that used to be real. We've come too far to say it's over now. I can't last much longer. I loved all that we used to have, but I don't know. Oh, I loved all that we used to have, but I don't know. I loved all that we used to have, but I don't know if we can get it back. Can we get it back? Can we get it back? Yeah.
You're tuned into the Artist Spotlight here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. My name is Trace Nod, live at Angel Wings Bookstore and Bistro with To Die For. That's Get It Back. Sitting down writing the song, how did this kind of come about for you?
So I had recently been listening to Drunk Me by Mitchell Tenpenny and Chasing You by Morgan Wallen. And I was trying to actually, well, since we were talking earlier about the kind of having something different with the label and our sound, that's something I was going to say earlier, that like even today, I think a lot of times people ask us like what genre we are, and we're always kind of hesitant. It always takes a second. We're like, well, I think we're rooted. It's mostly country. We're rooted in country, but like we got some kind of pop backgrounds. There's some like a little bit of indie stuff, a little bit of punk too, because we grew up listening to like Reliant K a lot, and so there's a lot of that in our music. So this song, I was like, okay, I think let's maybe try to get like a little bit more in the country genre, like for sure in today's country, because a lot of our stuff that we typically write is a little more old school, like a little like 90s, early 2000s kind of country. But this particular one, I was like, all right, let me see what I could do. Let me try to write something that is still us, that's still, you know, unique to us, but is more aligned with today's country music. And so I was listening to those two songs, Drunk Me by Mitchell Tenpenny and Chasing You by Morgan Wallen. And I was like, let me try to like take some elements of this and put together something. And recently a friend of my wife's has been going through like a rough patch with her husband. They've been kind of going through something and trying to figure out after conflict if they can kind of keep it up for, you know, for the sake of the kids and all that kind of thing. And there's a lot of that. And so that was something that hit me. I was like, that's definitely a really common thing that a lot of people could relate to. So I think it'd be cool to write a song that's just about like, you know, like all the feelings that are involved and the point of just like, can we, you know, and to not, I think early on I wanted to kind of make sure that there was no solution necessarily at the end, where after the story is kind of told, there's no definite like, yeah, they patched things up, or no, it didn't work out. Just kind of expressing the feelings, and that be it. And so I sat down and just I can't, of course, like I said, I came up with the guitar part first, as always, and then just started writing what was coming to me.
Do you enjoy kind of going back and forth with kind of the old, the new, and kind of everything in between? Is that something that's fun when it comes to creating kind of new songs?
Yeah. I think so. You know, we grew up on like 90s, early 2000s country. And so like the newer stuff, I mean, we're still young. I'm 32, he's 30, but we still feel like we're out of the loop with stuff nowadays with the schools and like what kids are learning and all this kind of thing. And like, there's a whole nother language out there for these young kids that we're like clueless about. But you know, that's the kind of music we grew up on. And I think there's still a market for it. I think people love that, because I do think a lot of people are kind of sick of the stuff they're throwing at radio now, a lot of it. And so you get that one gem of a song that comes up there and you're like, hey, this is something. It's cool. It's different. And so we go back to that, but we also don't want to limit our audience, and so we throw in elements of what's like the Get It Back. Aubrey sent me over the song. He was like, "Hey, write a verse for this," and so I came up with the second verse that I sang. And there's a song called "Beautiful People" by Ed Sheeran. Who's the guy that sings on that?
Khalid, I believe it is.
Khalid, yeah. And I love how he comes in where he's just and he's got that soul that comes in different from Ed Sheeran when he's singing. And so I wanted that because my brother's voice is different than mine. So when that verse came in, I wanted it to be obvious.
Yeah.
So,
well, I was going to mention this, and I heard you kind of go a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Which I haven't heard that in a while. So that's good. I like that.
Thank you.
And so when it comes, what has been, and you kind of took it a little bit. You grew up on a little country, so the early 80s, 90s kind of country. Are you a fan of what really is happening now?
Like he was saying just a minute ago, there's some gems we find. There's different things. Which also the other crazy thing is like so many people, and I'm guilty of it too, have kind of like shifted away from radio. I know there's still tons of people that listen to radio, but me, like I still use iTunes and not just Apple Music. So I'm not just like streaming stuff. I download songs a lot. So typically what I'm listening to in the car is stuff that I just have on my phone. It's not coming to the radio. So I don't listen to as much radio as I used to, but when I do, it's kind of like that. Like I'm like, that song sounds just like the one I just heard. That kind of sounds just like the one I just heard. And then there'll be one that'll be like, oh, okay, like that. They're actually like, there's a little bit more going on here. It seems like because like everything is fast tracked. I think so many people just in every area of life is just rushing, and so I think that's definitely the case in studios now. Is they're just like come in, sing, record it, and we're just gonna throw in all the samples. We're just gonna like do digital drums to everything. We're just gonna like make it sound as bubblegum pop as we can, and then we'll have a player come in and just throw in some steel guitar or a violin or something, and then that'll make it country. Plus the singer's voice. So every now and then I'll kind of hear a song. It's like, okay, this one sounds like they actually like really, really put some work into this one. And not that all the others are, I'm not trying to sound like some kind of authority, but just my opinion personally. I'll hear certain things that I can kind of tell, like, it seems like a lot was really put into this, and you can kind of hear the heart in it. And that speaks to me a lot more.
I love that.
Yeah.
Again, we're here live at Angel Wings Bookstore and Bistro in downtown Oxford. My name is Trace Nod. Tune into the Artist Spotlight. Missed anything we've done here today, head over to our website at nextdoorradio.com and to be able to listen back. All right, what's the next song? We got about 10 minutes to go, so let's kind of dive into it.
Let's do what I got. All right. So this is a song we were talking about earlier, inspiration with Keith Urban. Keith Urban has a song that came out back in that time period we were just talking about. It's called Who Wouldn't Want to Be Me.
Okay.
And I think it's an underrated song. It's one of the, I mean, I don't remember because I was so much younger that age, but I don't remember it being a very super popular song, but I loved it. So this is what came out of my, idea for that.
There you go. All right, take it away.
Man, I should have changed these strings. Never good. Close enough. 2, 3, 4.
I got plans that I'm making. I don't intend on breaking with you. And I got dreams, the kind that will lead me to bigger and better things. Dreams. But every time I turn around, another bridge is falling down on me. And every day I get the choice to sit around or seize an open door. Oh, but the sun is shining and the birds are flying to that paradise up in the sky. There's a new day dawning, opportunity knocking. All my heartbreak is waving goodbye. What a good life. I am loved. Love I've been given surpasses all knowledge, it's true. Hey! And I am blessed. Blessed beyond measure. Count the stars, you'll know you're blessed too. Oh, and every time I turn around, another bridge is falling down on me. And every day I get the choice to sit around or seize an open door. Oh, but the sun is shining and the birds are flying to that paradise up in the sky. There's a new day dawning, opportunity knocking, while my heartbreak is waving goodbye. What a good life. Oh, where the grass is greener on the other side, there's a river flowing sweet by and by. Hop on in and we can take a ride. It's a good, good life. The moon is full and the night is young. Stars come out when they hear me strum. This old guitar till my fingers are numb. It's a good, good life. And the sun is shining, the birds are flying to that paradise up in the sky. There's a new day dawning, opportunity knocking, all my heartbreak is waving goodbye. Hope y'all are ready. What a good life. It's a good life. Yo, 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 oh, yo, 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 oh.
Y'all, the spotlight here on Next Door Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Next Door Radio app. We appreciate Angel Wings Bookstore and Bistro for having us here live on stage. Is To Die For, because we have about less than 10 minutes to go. When it comes, what has been your kind of going all the way back to the beginning? What has been one of your favorite songs that you guys have performed and kind of written yourself?
Performed, not written, but performed. Somebody Like You by Keith Urban.
Okay.
I've always loved.
I could have guessed that.
Yeah, I've always loved doing that song. That's our finale song we end our shows with.
Okay.
Unless we're doing it for veterans, then we kind of do our original American Made. I think as far as things we've written, favorite is probably either North Carolina or What a Good Life. Just because one reason for North Carolina is the crowd loves the song, adores it. And when you look out and you see people singing along to your songs, that means the world to us.
Yeah,
I agree. I do love playing Whipped. I think that's one that
we've talked about that being underrated.
Yeah, I always have a lot of fun playing it. It's really upbeat and just fun. The solos that we have in it and the energy and behind it it's always fun to play.
One of my very first songs that I've ever not only played on the radio itself, nextdoorradio.com, is North Carolina. So that's where I kind of learned about you guys and knew about you. So that's pretty cool. That's one of your favorites. That's pretty neat because I extremely enjoy it. So I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Once again, let's give where are you guys going to be here coming up event wise?
Jacksonville. It's called the Rustic Barn.
North Carolina, right?
In North Carolina. Yeah, Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Park, that's a long trip.
Yeah.
That'll be all right, guys. We have time for one more song before we have to kind of close wraps here today.
Okay.
But it's going to be the final song.
North Carolina.
Let's do it. I like it. Yeah. All right, here we go. To Die For here live at Angel Wings Bookstore and Bistro. My name is Trace Knight. This is the Artist Spotlight. Go ahead.
There's a warm wind blowing down the shore of the East Coast, and it's calling my name. I gotta go. There's a smell drawing nearer, and it's dragging me along. You can practically hear the ocean sing a song. North Carolina, where I was born and raised, coastal beaches, where I'd love to be. You can see it in the sky, feel it in the trees. North Carolina, what a beautiful thing. There's a blue haze before me, just as blue as southern skies, in the mountains far away from city lights. There's an understood agreement of the beauty that it holds, and when all the people visit, they never want to go. Here we go. North Carolina, yeah, where I was born and raised, coastal beaches, where I'd love to be. You can see it in the sky, feel it in the trees. In North Carolina, what a beautiful thing. Woo! Yeah, from Nags Head to Oxford and Boone to Cherokee, it's all a part of this great state, the state that's home to me. Yeah. North Carolina, where I was born and raised, coastal beaches, where I'd love to be. North Carolina, where I was born and raised, coastal beaches, where I'd love to be. You can see it in the sky, feel it in the trees. North Carolina, what a beautiful thing. Yeah. Oh, North Carolina. Yeah. North Carolina. North Carolina.
Thank you.
That's To Die For here for a live at Angel Wings Bookstore and Bistro here for our artist spotlight here on Next Door Radio. Fellas, thank you so much. Not only for weathering the traffic all the way from Johnston County, we appreciate you very much. But hey, we appreciate you for joining us here on our artist spotlight, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the way. Congratulations on the brand new record deal from Highway 1, guys. Enjoy it. Have fun, okay?
Thank you.
And we appreciate you very much. My name is Trey Stein on behalf of the Artist Spotlight and Next Door Radio. This has been To Die For. We'll see you next time.